5, 4, 3, 2.
Lowe again. With us at this time is a singer who not only sometimes performs in bars, but is equally adept at practicing on them. Please join us in welcoming the charming Claiborne Cary. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Claiborne Cary. In New York City you grew up, or where?
No, I was born in Lone Tree, Iowa.
Really?
Yes, and the tree died, and we moved into Des Moines. Well, the elm blight came through.
Showbiz. What?
Well, yes.
Family of show business.
Family
really?
show business.
Sisters.
I should have been a jazz singer, but I was afraid I'd end up in a rehab. And my family was theatrical, so I went toward the theater. Yes, Cloris is my
Cloris
sister.
Leachman is your sister?
My sister.
And who else in the family?
Mary, our middle sister. My name was Claiborne Leachman.
It was Claiborne Leachman.
The family
when did you
name.
change that? When did you
well, I married. I married Bob Cary as a young, very young woman. I think to get away from the family.
I see.
And I mean that came out in my therapy, you know.
This came out. You mean?
So I changed my name, and I was happier. I was much happier when I changed it from Leachman.
Why
to
is
Cary.
that? Why is that?
Well, I wasn't that happy in this family.
With the Leachman family?
Well, there were a lot of bosses. They were very, very bossy.
How many
very
sisters?
critical.
How many sisters?
Two.
Two sisters.
And I was the baby. And it was the 30s, and it was like, oh no, not another one, you know.
Right.
And a girl. That's how I happened to get Claiborne. Our grandmother's name was Rose Claiborne.
Right.
And they were going to name this little boy that was coming.
I
Claiborne.
see. That's how you got Claiborne.
Yes, and my mother was in the hospital. Well,
the
there was a famous actress named Claiborne Foster on Broadway.
Right.
And my mother read about her in the paper and realized that it would be all right to name me Claiborne. So that's how I got Claiborne, but it's not been easy.
It hasn't been easy?
Well, no. I was very cute and always on.
A lot of people think it's easy because you have a famous sister, and then all of a sudden
it's not easy.
No,
it isn't.
No, it's like a black cloud over my head. I forget that we're sisters, and I'm happy, and I go along, and everything's great, and I'm working, and then all of a sudden somebody says,
right, are you?
And I go, oh, that's right.
It does bother you.
Well, it's just that it's like the black cloud. It's not a happy thing.
But you moved to New York, and
well, we all moved to New York.
The whole family?
No, but as each of us graduated from high school, college, we headed out.
You always wanted to be in show business, though?
No, not really. But I was good at it, and we were brought up in it, and we performed always as little children.
But you did a Broadway show.
And I was a dancer. I had
Bob Fosse?
I studied dancing in Des Moines. I was a good dancer, and I got a job with Bobby Fosse.
Tell me, working with Bobby Fosse, difficult?
No. Oh, he was just darling. Thelma Ritter was difficult, and George Abbott was difficult, and other people were difficult, but Gwen was wonderful, Bobby was wonderful, George Wallace, who lives out here, was wonderful.
What was the show you did with Fosse on Broadway?
It was New Girl in Town.
New Girl in Town.
And Hal Prince was a young producer, very young.
Lots of dancing, baby.
Yeah. I was lucky because I didn't look right on stage.
What do you mean you didn't
too short.
Okay.
And I wasn't a ballerina type with legs and
But you were cute,
and,
that perksy type thing.
Well, he was looking for actors. Bobby changed the complexion of the dancers. And he could see something in me. And in fact, there was an argument with Mr. Abbott. Abbott wanted the sexier girl, and Bobby said no. He had already done Steam Heat, that show. And so he now had some clout, and he said, no, I need Claiborne. He knew my name and everything from auditioning for him so many times.
Your sister, Cloris Leachman, did she do a lot of Broadway?
She did quite a bit in the very early years.
When you were in New York? Was she,
no, before I got to New York, she was doing
But you did
plays.
a lot of clubs, like the Blue Angel.
Well, then, that's what I always kind of wanted to do. I like working alone.
Me too, I like Cabaret.
Yes,
yeah.
And material, and being small, I always liked working alone. I preferred to be alone.
Your own boss. You know exactly what you're doing
and
out
I
there.
looked taller.
Right.
I looked better by myself. So I began developing material. And I could play the piano a little bit, and I had a great apartment on 49th and 8th, and I could play the piano all night. Nobody could hear me.
In your apartment, really?
Yeah,
really?
yeah, years ago. I'm sorry.
Did you
I
study
gave that
singing
up.
at all in New
Yes,
York?
I did.
Carlo Menotti?
No.
Remember Carlo Menotti?
Oh,
the voice
of course,
too?
sure. He wrote.
No, not John Carlo.
Oh,
John Carlo is
John
something
Carlo,
different.
no.
But Carlo Menotti used to be a teacher.
Oh, I see.
He taught voice. All
Did
the
you
actors.
study with him?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, this is in the late 50s. But tell me about working the clubs. You did a lot of village clubs. Did you
Well,
work?
I was this dancer, but I really wanted to sing, and I was really hip, and I loved jazz.
What do you mean by hip, dear?
Well, I mean, I swung, you know, and people in cabaret don't really swing. In fact, it's very hard to find a pianist who can do material and swing. It's almost impossible.
So jazz people swing. Is that what you're trying to say?
Jazz people swing, but they can't play. Most of them cannot play material like show.
I understand.
You know, or funny bits and all that. They want to just play jazz.
They play jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz is really what? Really? Let's explain. Let's get back. Jazz is really improvising. Is it improvised? You know, isn't it mostly what? Would you consider Mel Tremaine a jazz singer?
Oh, sure.
That's it.
Oh, sure. He swings.
He swings.
It's
so
hard.
people who swing are jazz singers.
Well,
Ella Fitzgerald?
oh, of course.
That's
sure.
Yeah.
But there are some jazz singers who don't really swing, who call themselves jazz singers. And that's kind of scary.
Right.
But Anita O'Day, of course, is a jazz singer.
Right.
Great one.
Claiborne, right now you're appearing in the valley somewhere, Toluca Lake area?
Yes. We've been in New York. We have been everywhere. Skip. We did a cruise, and then we did
What
Town Hall.
cruise did you do? The ship cruises?
Yeah, ship cruise.
Great, aren't they fun?
I can't even remember the
Did you
name
have
of
fun?
it. Oh, yes, it was great. Rex Reed was on, and Charles and
Did you get
Barbara
seasick at
Strauss.
all? Did you get
No.
seasick?
No. No, it was great.
Yeah, it's
we had
fun.
a ball, and we just did one show. Then we did Town Hall. I did a number with Billy Barnes that he wrote.
Billy Barnes,
Something
great.
Cool.
Love it, yeah.
And
He's a great writer.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He wrote Have I Stayed Too Long at the Fair. That was his big hit for him. Then we did a wonderful medley of Victor Young tunes from the movies with Jane Powell was the hostess.
Right.
So that was a great week. And then I did Sondheim at the Tea Room after that.
The Russian Tea Room
The
in
Russian
New York
Tea
on
Room,
57th
yeah.
Street.
The second time.
Tell me about the Russian Tea Room. It's becoming the thing
It's
right
the
now.
place.
Upstairs or downstairs or what? It's upstairs. isn't
It's
it?
upstairs.
It's upstairs, yeah.
And oddly enough, my first voice teacher used to rent an apartment upstairs, right where the cabaret is now.
That's where Carlo Menotti's building is, and in his office right there. And he's
Really?
That's where he teaches, around the side.
Well, is that the how do you get to?
It's at the Lincoln. It's the Carnegie Hall,
yeah,
right
Carnegie
there.
Hall.
Yeah. But tell me about working that Russian tea room. Who's some of the people who used to come to see you?
Who are some of the
Claiborne, come
people?
on.
Oh my gosh.
You're working the Russian
Well-
tea room, where is the New York, where the crowd is there.
Cy Coleman comes.
See, that's what I mean. Go ahead.
Sondheim's agent. You know who she is. She's wonderful.
No, I don't,
Oh,
but that's
she's
okay.
great. Gosh,
You had a
they're
crowd to come to see you.
Oh,
People-
huge. We were sold out 2 weeks before.
2 weeks? Really?
Yes. Yes.
That's a
Yes.
great room. Or how
It's a
many?
great
How
room.
many in the audience? The audience small?
100.
See, that's it. Those are great
100.
rooms. Very different.
Yes, and the food
You're-
is great.
You're
and
right now.
They do a nice offering. I think it's $25 for a 4-course dinner, and with the show or something. It's a very good.
In West Hollywood or in Hollywood, there is a cabaret. You work quite often. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard. It's that lovely little what's his name's Roll's room on.
Oh, the
It's the
Gardenia.
Gardenia.
Yes,
That is
I
another
played that
intimate
last
room.
spring. I came out with
That's an intimate room,
the
too.
ASCAP people.
Right.
Margaret Whiting and myself and quite a few people. And we, ASCAP is always developing new
Talent,
people.
yeah.
And new songwriters. So we went up to San Francisco and we played the Gardenia.
You worked the Push
here.
Room in San Francisco?
Well, that was something else.
Oh,
that was
okay.
my own act. We went back with my friends.
Now
Frank
you are
Borowski.
appearing. Now you are appearing at the Toluca Lake at the St. Moritz?
Yes.
Tell me about the St.
Toluca
Moritz.
Lake Tennis Club.
Is it Toluca Lake Tennis Club?
It's the Toluca Lake Tennis Club. It's the St. Moritz in the club. At the
okay,
club, they
okay, it's
call
a
it.
restaurant,
But
yeah.
it's open to the public.
Really?
And it's a beautiful room, and the food is fabulous.
It's by the graveyard, isn't it, somewhere?
Well,
Oh,
yes,
come
somebody
on.
said if you get to the mausoleum, you've gone too far.
that
Turn
it?
back, yes.
Tell me about the room itself.
Well,
you're there?
it's
How
very
long?
pretty.
How long you're there? For?
We're just there another 2 weekends.
Uh-huh.
But we did a New Year's Eve there, which was quite an experience.
Really?
Yes. It's hard to get musicians.
Who's your
to come out.
conductor? It's hard to get musicians.
Well,
Who's
right
your
here,
conductor?
Frank Farowski.
Frank,
is
how
my,
are you?
Arranger and conductor.
You're working the St. Moritz with her, and you.
Right.
Where are you
he's
from,
wonderful.
Frank? Originally.
Originally Des Moines, Iowa.
Really?
He saw me in the high
Same-
school play.
You kids have been knowing each
But
other?
no,
or
we didn't know each
never?
other.
Really?
But I didn't meet her until
And-
'88.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
We went to a memorial.
Uh-huh.
And somebody said, don't ever miss a funeral. You know, you should always go to all the
Right,
funerals,
right,
You never
right.
know who you're
So
going
you
to
meet your old friends, right? Yeah.
So sure enough.
How did you get in the business? You've been arranging for many years, conducting, or?
Well, I'm a reed player. I play saxophone, clarinet, and flute.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Juilliard, and then I started working in New York.
Uh-huh.
After I
Who's some of the
graduated.
who's some of the
Who are the
people that you have conducted with, or some of the people you've written for?
Well, before '88, I was working with Liza Minnelli for about 6-7 years.
Really, working with Liza. Ooh.
I played lead alto with her, and
Uh-huh.
I wrote some arrangements too.
She's a great lady. To me, she's one of our greatest entertainers alive today in America.
really is.
Absolutely.
Not Streisand, her. Entertainer.
Yeah.
People say Streisand. It makes me a big joke of Streisand. Streisand's a great singer, technically. But as an entertainer, she's the best. Am I right?
Liza, you mean.
Liza.
How, yes, Liza. Tell me about working with Liza. Is she, I bet she's
Liza's
great with
the
her
greatest to work
musicians,
for.
right? Is she?
Very nice.
Like what? Give me an example. Like,
Well, she
she's
treats
friendly
the musicians great. She
Rolls out the carpet.
Yeah,
For
she
the
does.
musicians.
there's food before the job, after.
Really?
In the dressing room.
Uh-huh. How about Claiborne? Taking good care of you,
She
too?
takes everybody out to dinner every once in a
She
while.
does take you out to dinner?
Claiborne's great to work with.
She
so
great to-
talented.
Uh-huh.
Singer, actress, comedian.
See, what we're trying to
Songwriter.
do.
So-
she's
so
written
you-
I've
songwriter.
written
Go ahead.
some songs.
You-
But the interesting, what we're doing now is bringing the jazz into cabaret.
Right.
And combining it, which is special.
The Vine Street tried to do that, or are they trying that one on Vine Street Grill or something like that?
Well, the
See, I
Vine
heard
Street's
that
closed.
Is it
but,
closed? Finally,
closed.
thank
That's the other
God.
one.
Anyway, but I thought that was a rip-off of a place. I really did for the entertainers. I did. I always did.
Uh-huh.
But there is there no jazz room in town?
Oh, no,
How about the
jazz rooms
Bellage?
here.
The Bellage?
The Bellage has
Bellage
jazz.
is having jazz. Chadney's.
Uh-huh.
Now a place called Legends of Hollywood, where St. Moritz used to
Right. Did you ever meet Chet Baker in your career?
be. I heard him, but I didn't.
You never met Chet. I met him in Paris, and I worked with him at a base in Paris. He was,
Right.
and also in Pittsburgh, I worked with Chet.
he was
He was
something.
fabulous. He was
Great.
like a little
love
boy.
listening
He
to
was
him.
like a little boy. I'm telling you, he was an excellent one. Just got
Great
drugs. You know what happens.
Yeah,
And,
drugs,
You know, I was just
isn't that
watching
awful?
the movie the other night of Sing Blues, you know, and it just turned me off. It just the drugs, how these jazz singers get into this drugs. Why is that? Why does jazz singers get into the drug scene? Tell me.
Tell us,
Is it
Frank.
because? No, Frank. I don't know. Is it because they think
Well,
it's hip?
No,
It goes-
is there time, too much
Well,
time?
in the 50s, when Charlie Parker was the idol of everybody.
Right.
He was
He was a
drug addict.
So everyone
And then-
thinks it's the
everybody
thing
thought-
to
And they
do.
mimicked him.
They all think
and
it's
they
the-
thought it was the thing
and
to
they think
do.
they're going to play that well
And
if they take drugs?
They maybe think that that's going to rub off and they'll
Uh-huh.
help. Who knows?
Right.
And Billie Holiday always had a problem.
Who's your favorite, Miss Claiborne?
My favorite singer?
Jazz singer. Yeah.
Oh,
you must
Carmen.
have.
Carmen.
Is that who you, Carmen
No,
McRae?
no, I don't have a sound like that.
But your
I-
sound is more. I want the audience to hear your sound right now because I hear you are. I haven't seen your show yet. I'm coming to see you. I hear you are just wonderful.
Well, thank
and
you.
I love my audience. I'd like to roll this tape. This
Okay.
is from probably
Well, Town Hall.
Town Hall?
And from
from.
Tea Room?
No, we're going to do the town hall first. Let's
Don't
just
Tell Mama?
Don't Tell Mama.
don't tell mama.
Hi. Thank you. thank you very much. I just have to share something with you. If you were here Tuesday night, it was just so wonderful. And oh no, I didn't mean that. But a woman came up to me last night. I came and she said, I don't want you to be offended. But she said, I always wanted to do cabaret, and I just thought I was too old until I saw you do that song. Oh, yeah. So, I really wanted to do Betty Hutton. I said, Frank, David Stoller called, and he offered, invited me to be on this thing at Town Hall, and I'll do Betty Hutton because she was my idol. I used to, she was the only movie star that I sent for the picture, and I had this little picture in my little skirt at recess. I'd take it out and I'd say, I love you, Betty, I love you, Betty. I said, do you love me, Betty? I had this whole thing with her, and then I'd say, I'm going to put you away now, Betty. I have to go back to arithmetic, So I said, Frank, I think, I want to do Betty Hutton, and you'll do the arrangements, right? And he said, no, we're doing Victor Young, and I'll do the arrangements. And I said, okay, good. So here we are. Victor Young died at the age of 56 in 1956. And he did win the Academy Award for the first song in this medley that we're going to sing. He won it posthumously. Around the world I searched for you. I traveled on when hope was gone to keep our rendezvous. I knew somewhere, sometime, somehow you'd look at me and I would see that smile. You're smiling now. It might have been in County Down or here in New York or Gay Paris or even London town. No more will I go all around the world, for I have found my world in you. When I fall in love, it will be completely, or I'll never fall in love. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too is when I fall in love with you. Have you seen Stella by starlight, standing alone, wind in her hair? Have you seen Stella by starlight? When have you known rapture so rare? The song a robin sings through years of endless springs, the murmur of a brook at eventide that ripples by a nook where two lovers hide, a great symphonic theme, that Stella by starlight, and not a dream. She's all of this and more. She's everything that you'd adore. Love letters straight from your heart. Keep us so near while apart. I'm not alone in the night, for I can have all the love you write. I memorize every line. I kiss the name that you sign. And darling, then I read again right from the start. Love letters straight from your heart. The night is like a lovely tune. Beware, my foolish heart, how white the ever-constant moon. Take care, my foolish heart. There's a line between love and fascination that's hard to see on an evening such as this, for they both give that very same sensation when you're lost in the magic of a kiss. His lips are much too close to mine. Beware, my foolish heart. But should our eager lips combine, then let the fire start. For this time it isn't fascination or a dream that will fade and fall apart. No, it's love. This time it's love, my foolish heart. Agree with me that we have these folders of songs that we're going to do at some point. I better hurry up. I've got a lot of folders. And this song has always been way up at the top, but it was always a jazz song, and because what's her name?
June Christie.
Yeah, thank you. June Christie sang it and knocked everybody out, but I think it was probably one of the first jazz songs, or that a jazz singer took, that had a story to it. And then, as the years rolled along, they seemed to do that. I had an apartment at 49th and 8th. It was one of the last of the great deals. It was a 2-bedroom with a big living room and full kitchen, and the walls were thick, and I could play the piano all night. Nobody would hear. It was $100. But I noticed downstairs on 8th Avenue in the Blarney Stone, a woman would come in the afternoon. Don't ask me how I happened to notice her. But I saw her again in Chicago at Jack's, and Des Moines at Lucille's, and Omaha at God knows who. And it just, I see her everywhere. Don't ask me how I happened to notice. So I thought I could do that song now. I think I could forget the jazz and just do the song, do the story that Billy wrote. Something cool
I'd like to order something cool. It's so warm here in town, and the heat gets me down. Yes, thank you.
In January. That was fun. And I'm looking forward to working out here in film and
But you do
television.
comedy too. You tried stand-up comedy at the Comedy Store, did you?
Yes.
Tell me about
yes.
that.
Well,
Tell
I
me.
took a course in it, and it was good. It was. I developed some very funny stuff, but it's all from my life, you know.
That's what comedy's about.
Sure. And I thought, well, if I'm going to get a series here at my age and so forth, I probably should get very good at stand-up. So I took a course and then went out to the improv.
Right.
Our graduation was it. I have that tape, by the way. It's very funny.
Is it?
I should give it to you to put on.
You know, I'm at the Comedy Store on Saturday nights. I present
are you still there?
In the belly room upstairs.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
a lot of fun. I love you to come sometime
I
when
would
you're
love
not
to.
working as a
Yes.
singer, or
Oh,
maybe you
sure.
come. But you did make this record. I love this record.
I'm going to
tell
redo
me
this
about
for in a CD.
in a CD.
Yeah, we're working on that right now. And then Frank and I are putting together a new CD with all of his arrangements.
Tell me about the audiences at this wonderful room you're working in Toluca Lake.
They're fabulous. They really come to listen. They want to hear what this is. They've
Really?
heard about it, they've read about it, and it's something you don't hear and see
Right,
every day.
right.
And especially out here.
Right.
And so it's fun.
Does
It's-
Bob Hope know you're out there? Because you're only near Bob
Well,
Hope.
I haven't
he loves
called
jazz.
him. He hasn't called me. I haven't called him. But
He loves jazz.
Does he?
Yeah, and his
Maybe
wife
we can
sings
get him
great.
over.
How about you? Did you ever hear Bob Hope's wife sing? Dolores? Oh, she's great. She's a
Really?
good singer. Good singer. And she's a jazz singer, too, I think. She does a little jazz.
Uh-huh.
So it's tough for performers to get work out here, though, isn't it?
I haven't found that yet. I've been working steadily and happily, probably more than I ever have, oddly enough.
Where would you like to see Claiborne 5 years from now?
I'd like to do feature films. Well, who wouldn't? But I think it gives you more time to develop something substantial on film, more than sitcoms. Although I wouldn't sneeze at a sitcom.
Right.
But it's all about learning lines and hurry up and get it in the can. Whereas a film, I think, gives you a little more chance to really develop something.
I'm looking at you right now. It's Cloris Leachman's sister, Frank Stallone. I've interviewed Frank Stallone many times. He has difficulty with his brother by saying he's Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
Being
yes,
Sylvester Stallone.
Sure.
And I'm looking at you right now as I interview you. I think you have that same problem with Cloris Leachman, as she should help you or did something. Do you have any regrets about that? Be honest with me.
My regret is that I spent too much time with her.
Oh.
Just being her buddy and her friend, and then she would go on to do a feature, and
Right,
I would
right.
go on to unemployment or something.
Right.
That's my regret.
Arms. Did she ever open your arms really to you? Did she? I mean, to help you, to come to see you in these clubs?
Well, she would come to see me, but
Yeah.
it was more curiosity, I think.
Curiosity?
To
Her
see
own
how I
sister.
was doing and if I was good and if I was better than she was. I mean, she's very competitive.
Is she really?
Oh.
She's a star. She's
a
What is
star.
happening with her right now? Her career's not
I
really...
have no idea. I have no
You're not very
idea.
close to
No.
keep in contact
No.
yet. I see.
No.
Claiborne, I must tell you, I've enjoyed
I got a
this.
divorce.
Did you?
Yes. And I'm much happier.
Well, that's... You kids are... I'm very excited to interview you both today, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
I've got to come
Thank
and
you.
see
We're
you.
very
I heard
happy
you're
to
just
be here with
great
you.
at this wonderful little room, St. Moritz. And
It's Steve Applegate and Manny Slall, and they're trying a new policy with the But they have good taste, obviously, and they're really trying to present
But they have other
something.
nights too, don't they? They have other nights, I see. They have
Well, they had
Mondays.
Hannah Brooks. Oh, well, they have for dinner.
Is Hannah Brooks there?
She was.
Oh, she's
she
great.
Was.
She plays the piano and
Oh,
sings.
yeah, she's wonderful.
Great.
And then they brought us in.
Uh-huh.
And it's catching on. People are beginning to realize that there is this very high-level entertainment there that's included with the meal. And
But
so
you have to go to the ballet to entertain around here. It seems like there's nothing in Hollywood for jazz rooms.
Well,
Nothing.
the Nuclear Nuance closed. That was kind of sad. That
Nuance
was a
on
fun
Melrose.
place.
That
Yeah,
was great, yeah.
Wasn't it great with
Yeah.
Ernie Andrews?
Your
down
agent
there.
is...
It's Buzz Halliday.
Uh-huh.
She's wonderful. She just opened her own office over on Beverly Boulevard, and I'm with Sutton Barthenari for commercials.
Uh-huh. So you really want to get into a
So I'm
series.
ready to roll.
Yeah, you're really
Yeah.
get into a
I'm
series
here
of
to-
your own.
It would be fun.
Yeah, because
sure, of course,
you
I'd
do
love
comedy,
it.
you know.
Sure.
Who else is better than nightclub performers in a series? Because most of the directors and producers are looking in clubs for comics to get them into series. That's what
Exactly.
they're looking right now. They're
Exactly.
coming to the Comedy Store, the
Yep.
Improv, and look at all the comics.
Yes.
They're all comics.
Yes.
They're stars today on
Yes.
series.
Yes, people from
Claiborne,
Broadway,
I think you'd be
people from New
wonderful.
York.
I really do.
Thank you.
I thank you very,
Thank
very
you
much
so
for
much.
Thank you very much.
Frank.
Okay, Frank? Frank, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Yep.
Great.
Oh, you're great, Skip.
Oh, you're marvelous. You're so easy to